Ethnic cleansing in Balochistan, does this blow the lid of that? This is the question that we are asking. It's a straight face-off. Dr. Qamar Cheema is with us, and Tarek Fatah Sahab is also with us, author and columnist. Namaste, gentlemen. Tarek Fatah Sahab, this is shocking. People who are missing are being murdered, and then the Pak army is coming out and claiming that they have done a successful operation against BLA.
Well, I'm not shocked. These are the same Pakistan military personnel who kidnap people and drop them from helicopters after torturing these activists, and their dead bodies are found in ravines and valleys and along highways. The atrocities being committed in Balochistan by the Pakistan military have been going on since they invaded Balochistan in March 1948. This is after the Pakistan military faced a defeat in Jammu and Kashmir. The military was turned over, and Balochistan state, which had an embassy in Karachi, was invaded on March 48 and occupied ever since then. This is not the first independent struggle. In 1948, there was an armed rebellion. Then in 1950s, there was the hanging of 7-8 of the Noroz Khan, the royalty amongst the then Baloch. 1970s, there was a long civil war. After India gifted Pakistan with their 90,000 POWs, Mr. Bhutto sent them straight to Balochistan, and that war was fought till 1977. The latest war that is going on is since the assassination of Nawab Bukti, whose crime was to give protection to many Hindus in the area that were being targeted by the Pakistan military. So those of us who have been with the Balochistan struggle since the 60s, we are quite aware of what goes on. Unfortunately, most people in Pakistan, especially in Punjab, haven't got a clue, nor do they think of the Baloch as, nor ordinary human beings that rely on the sympathy of the fellow human beings. This wasn't just the case with current day Pakistanis. Even Maulana Azad declared the Pashtuns and the Baloch as, the riffraff of the Indian subcontinent. So if there is a reluctance to call a spade, that is the reason. Balochistan never was part of the Indian subcontinent. The state of Kalat had as direct relationship with the with Westhall in London as Nepal or Sri Lanka had, and therefore the negotiations for independence was separate. In fact, their lawyer was Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who took his weight in gold to pay, which he never declared as income. So it's a sad story, but those of us who are familiar know that many of our comrades have died at the thirsty hands of the Punjabi Pakistan army.
No, so Baloch Musalman nahi hai, Dr. Qamar Cheema? And this is the might of the Pakistani army? That they will take murder missing persons and claim that these are BLA separatists?
I think there have been this narrative which is coming from India and many other places that as if the Baloch are not Pakistani citizens. The point is there have been many politicians from Balochistan who have been the prime ministers, who have been running the country in one way or the other. Yes, there have been challenges. Balochistan have been neglected by the central government for long. And for that matter, there was some issues. The Baloch leaders, who were largely the tribal leaders, they were dealing the affairs of their province with the central government. But now what we have realized that the youth in Balochistan, they are not happy the way the system is running. So that is why they have picked weapons. They have challenged the writ of the state. But the message to every Baloch, Punjabi, Pakhtun, Sindhi, Kashmiri and Gilgiti is that the method to rule the country is through the elections. So if you want the system to change,
I'm just asking you, are Baloch not Muslims that they should be treated thus? Tarek Fatah Sahab, you want to respond? I have 2 minutes on the show. Do you want to respond to Mr. Qamar Cheema's spiel here?
Well, I'm not surprised because even though most of East Pakistan was the majority, they were almost 90% Muslim. It didn't. The Pakistan Punjabi Army did not hesitate to create a genocide over there, if you recall, in 1970. And the attitude was the same, that these are people who respond to Indian propaganda and this is India's doing. I know that there was a Balochistan embassy in Karachi in 1948. It was a country that got independence on August 11th, 1947, before Pakistan and India. But Pakistanis would not know this because they have never even had the ability to read anything about this. Look at the people they have killed so far. Yeah. When there was Sardar Ataullah Khan Mengel's government in Balochistan in 1970, the returning troops came, threw them out, and massacred in a 6-7 year period.
Right.
They had to run for their lives and go seek refuge elsewhere. My friend, the head of the Murray people, is an exile in London.
Yeah.
The Bukti community, Baramdag Bukti, is also in exile.
Yes,
in Europe.
I've spoken to Mr. Bukti, Baramdag Bukti also, Tarek, Fatah, and Dr. Cheema. This is not something which needs to slide under the radar, and we will continue to bring more stories and put out the facts here on the Right Stand. I've run out of time. I thank our guests this evening. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Brass Tacks with Zakir right now. Stay with us.